Hey there, Steve here. How you doing? Hey, I wanted to, because I hadn't put one out in a while, I'm just going to put a trailer video out. I'll give you just a quick a very fast tour of the trailer. It's more or less put together. I think like one thing that I am missing is one of my routers, because I normally carry 2 routers with me. I have 4 routers total, and I think 3 of them actually are inside my house, inside my my workshop at the moment. So I only have 1 on board, but I have 1. Otherwise, let me give you just a quick kind of tour around. I'll do a little bit of commentary, and then I'll give you some jibber jabber at the end if you want to listen to that. Otherwise, that's what this video is. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Please leave comments. I appreciate getting dialogue going. If you have questions, if you have suggestions for, hey Spence, could you do a video on blankety blank? I'm always looking for content ideas. So let's check this Ron Paul Smart Trailer, Spencer Smart Trailer, whatever we want to call this thing. Let's go ahead and check this out and just check the organization and see a few of the tools along the way. Come on with me. So when I drop that ramp door, this is what I am looking at, and it's just a beautiful sight. It's been 5 years and it does not get old. Beyond that, currently I am plugged into shore power, so I have onboard power on the trailer. Coming up to the trailer, you can see very obviously I have my sawhorse cubby on the right. I have a 4-foot drawer right there, and then I have a small level garage where I have 2 4-foot levels and 2 2-foot levels. Over on this side, you can see that I have a 6-foot drawer, goes down that way. Aside from that, I have my 6-foot level, and that's just a small block that I use to level up the ramp door when I drop it on uneven surfaces. I have cleaners and some first aid and some lubricant right on the end. I have a magnet where I throw my keys so I don't lose my keys when I'm working around the trailer. Don't have to keep it locked, and I do have air. There's the light switch, my LED light bank. Those outlets, if I'm plugged into shore power, are always hot. Over here you see the large tool garage. I had to do a vertical tool garage because of the fact that my trailer is small and my aisle would not accommodate a horizontal large tool garage. So you see the big 2 sacrificial strips. Bunch of grab and go tools, speed squares that I use in and around the trailer, bevel tees, framing squares, and the always mandatory bank of tape measures. I go from all metric to metric standard to just standard all the way down through there. Up on top, I've taken advantage of some extra space. I have 2 of my DeWalt Trek saw tracks, the shorter 46-inch and the 59-inch. Beside that, I have a spot for a couple of T-squares for drywall. Then you can see right up there is my miter stand, and I'll hold on to that for a while. And I'll be holding on to this for a little while. It actually is out of the way up here, but it's convenient to grab. But eventually, I have all the plywood and the plans necessary to build the Smart Station, which is the tool bench that has integrated the miter saw and other tools like the table saw that would hang off of it. So when I have that, hopefully that loads in and that goes with me on every job site, making this pretty much a redundant tool. Just like my table saw stand, which, just the independent stand, I do keep on board. Every once in a while, you just need to do 2 things with a table saw, and I don't want to put it on the ground, but I don't necessarily need to pull a full bench out and then hook everything up. So in and around all of that, you can see I have spare blades, I have push blocks, I have my square rail guide for my track saw, so I can do straight cuts, 90-degree cuts. Pretty much this side of the trailer is built with Ron Paul inspiration. However, it is more or less my design because of the nature of the trailer. I created some cubbies here for my PEX plumbing parts, 3/4 and 1/2 inch, and the tools necessary that I use. And then down below is what I would call my bulk hardware, where I have these Milwaukee organizers, and they're all labeled, and you can see them all the way down. You can see where that is notched. And the drawer or the shelf base itself is actually the hardware that slide into dado grooves. But beyond that, what will happen is it'll slide in, and then it falls down behind that little piece of hardwood right there. Everything in this trailer is built on that system, and it works very well. So nothing comes off of the shelves, none of the drawers open up. Beyond that, this is what I would call my small tool garage. It includes a couple of laser levels, my Forstner bit kit, and you can see the radio, and then I have a number of towels and drops and plastic all behind that. Beneath that, I would call this my everything drywall center here, and it does include some sandpaper in there as well. Underneath that, this is a pull-out shelf, and it has a couple of kits that I've assembled, actually 3 of them. This is door and window for old and new doors and windows. of course. Picture hanging kit with all my drywall anchors and things like that. And then I have something that I pull out when I'm doing cabinetry installs and trim installs. Down below you see a bank of 5 drawers, 2 drawers that are about 3 inches in height, 3.5, and then you see 3 drawers that are double that, which is about 6 to 7 inches depending, all the way down through. They're all labeled. The hardware store was one of my inspirations from Ron Polk when he was giving us a tour of his trailer, and when he opened his, he had a number of viewtainers where I have these like 50 cent a piece, small 4-ounce clear jars. It is this drawer and a little bit of an area around the corner there why I give this trailer the moniker, the Magic Trailer, because of all these little bits of hardware that you see in here, to include any and all kinds of washers up to 3/8, and all kinds of different fasteners, colored fasteners, whatever. I mean, this is just, you know, all bits of whatever, even cotter pins. And when I come out here to look for that random bit of hardware that I need to keep me on the job, I'm typically going to find it in here. Below that, I have a secondary hardware store where I kept an organizer. You see that one labeled, and I bought 2 other organizers, and this is for everything that really would not fit in here. And you can see it's basically just all organized out. Beyond that, safety glasses, PPE, tape, shims. You can see it's all labeled, bags, painting, caulk down there. And then down here is going to be bulk nails for my roofing gun and my framer. And then I have a number of specialty tools over there. At the end of this, what is called Drawer Bank 3 in Ron Polk's plans. Like him in his video, I have taken advantage of the end cap and built a what is called a kind of a viewtainer-like shelf, meaning just narrow shelves. And this for me is just kind of a mid-level amount of hardware. You can see it's all labeled all the way down, and there are chemicals down there on the bottom. Going around the corner, this is where I'm going to have kind of moderate amounts of hardware, so a lot of self-tapping, self-drilling screws right there, wood screws down below, typically from number 6 diameter up to number 10 or 12 diameter, in some cases greater. I don't have all sizes, but I have a representative set. Down here, like Craig screws, specialty screws, specialty nails down in here, and so on. A little bit of bulk overflow, and then it gets down into chemicals. Near that in the nose cap, I do still need extension cords, so I keep 2 or 3 on hand. Blower for cleaning off the job site, cleaning out the truck. 2-foot step stool because I'm a hobbit. One of 2 job site lights that I have, those tower lights. One is actually on a job site currently. A couple of just overflow towels that I forgot to take care of, honestly. I have 4 of those very inexpensive sawhorses. I believe I was getting them for like 30 bucks a set at Home Depot at one point. They're Stanley. And there is my table saw stand. I keep that on hand until I don't need it anymore. Up here you see this DeWalt box. This is my plumbing grab and go. In the base of it you see all the wrenches and parts, things like that. That makes this thing weigh probably about 40 pounds. The top of it is all small parts and small hand tools and things I need for plumbing repairs as well as plumbing install. Above that is again a narrow shelf I call viewtainer-like because it's just a narrow shelf, and that's what Ron called them. And you see a variety of chemicals and chalks up there. Around the nose cone you see the fact that I do have a number of clamps up in the rafters because I don't have anywhere else for clamps. First aid kit, all 3 hole saw kits, a little bit of overflow electric. I do have air on the trailer, so that's 100 or 150 foot Flexilla 3/8 inch hose that I reel out when I need. Below that is where power comes into the trailer. That's a 10-3 100-foot extension cord, 20 amp. And I roll that out, plug that into shore power. Then I pigtail that down and into there. Below that, you see that I have an air compressor. This air compressor lives on board all the time and pigtails up to that air hose when I need it. There's my carpentry belt, just jam-packed at the moment, full of tools. Behind that is my electrical belt, jam full of tools. And beneath that is my Klein backpack, and that is my basically electrical carry and go if I'm doing a major install in a house. Kind of coming back here, I have a series of drawer banks. This is drawer bank 2 according to Ron's plans. This is the prime real estate. You can see everything is labeled. Down below I have just a lot of hand tools. I have a drawer full of all electrical. I have a drawer with all things drill and drill bit related. Drawer bank 2 again, this is just another bank of cabinets where I have the rest of my hand tools. Then I have nails and staples and staplers for all of my cordless guns for trim. Drawer for plumbing, anything and everything plumbing that is not in that grab-and-go box. And then down here, basically just a miscellaneous drawer for saw parts and router parts. No routers actually live in that drawer anymore. Then we get to drawer bank 1, which is basically just partially a partial drawer bank 2 to allow that cavity for the air compressor. So drawer bank 1 for me just has 2 of the 3.5-inch drawers, and here you can see the top, it's labeled hammers, extra hammers, and then down below is like bits and blades and things like that. Here's my charging station where I have 3 fast chargers and 2 regular chargers. I'm a DeWalt platform, and so they're all DeWalt. Around the corner in this battery cabinet, if you will, I have a double charger there, and then any and all extra batteries that I have, and they're always fully charged there, are kept exactly right there. You can see I've taken great advantage of magnets, so I have a lot of grab-and-go bits and things that are just very handy to grab. Below all this is the countertop, and along with the countertop, which is now cleaned up, so thus this video, you can see that I have a ton of pencils because I was always showing up at a job site without pencils. Lots of pads because I'm one for writing things down. Just a lot of grab and go, some reference material. And on the second shelf, more writing materials, a jar of picks and tweezers. For testing gas fittings, because I do gas plumbing, there I have some, Joy dishwashing liquid. A couple of utility knives that I use just around the trailer. And likewise with these tools that are hanging on magnets for just around the trailer. And then up there I have some batteries and some glues. Hanging off, hearing protection, hats, headlamps. Up here I have the tool that I use for electrical, where it's an electrical cable stapler, I believe. And some extra cable staples right there. Above this bank of cabinets, I've taken advantage of some space. I have one drop there. I have my electrical fish stick up there that's glow in the dark. And I have a dryer duct cleaning system up there as well. Beyond that, bag of rags, all of my belts for my belt sander. Then it gets to the cubbies. These cubbies are worth their weight in gold. I try not to keep anything in boxes that I do not have to, so you don't see anything in boxes. They're literally ready to grab and go. That's now my workflow. I don't have to worry about boxes, and I appreciate that. And so I can actually condense and store a lot more tools in smaller spaces because I do not have those boxes, because those boxes take up a lot of volume. So these things, and they're infinitely rearrangeable in the way that they've been assembled with 2-inch dados. Every 2 inches there's a 1/4-inch dado, and then all of these dividers can then come out and move over and move wherever. And so you can simply just rearrange as necessary to accommodate new tools, removal of old tools and such. Love these cubbies. Let's check them out quick. Up top, I think this is a 20 tall by 16-inch wide cubby. And you can see the tools that are in there. Most of the time I am double tooled because I have a lot of tools and few cubbies. So like you see the 1-inch SDS rotary hammer in front. Then in back you can see that there is a 60-volt mixing drill, one of those high torque, low speed drills that I use for mixing things like thin set. Beyond that, rafter saw, that's a 60-volt, then a 20-volt power plane. Right here, I've taken advantage of taking a cubby and dividing it horizontally, so I actually have 2 cavities in that narrow cubby, and both of these are for my reciprocating saws. This is my workhorse saw. It's a 6.5-inch blade left. Love that thing. Cordless vac. Again, dividing a cubby in half with a horizontal divider, and that allows me to store multiple tools in the same cubby, to include my corded 4x24 belt sander, and then 2 hand sanders down there that are cordless. Roofing gun, which is air driven, palm nailer air driven, and that's a cordless framer that I have that has replaced my air framer. On the cubbies below, these things are, I believe, 14 inches tall and 14 inches deep. So it's a narrow, so you can see how that cubby kind of indents in, which then allows for a little bit more staging area on this countertop. Otherwise, it starts out way in the back here with some nailers. So I have an air stapler, and then everything else is cordless, to include the 16 gauge, the 18 gauge, and the 23 gauge headless pin. A little bit of reference materials there. I really like the electrical. If I get into a case where there's an unusual wiring diagram I need, I typically find it in there. 60-volt grinder with a, looks like a flat disc on it, and it looks like that's in need of cleaning. Last time I put it away, I forgot to clean it. Pair of jigsaws, one that has the Collins coping foot on it, which is dedicated, and then because I wanted to leave that on there, I bought one and I left the flat shoe on it. Oh, in fact, I do have 2 routers out here. Both of these are cordless, one with the plunge base and one with the fixed base behind it. Multi tool, 7.25-inch blade right, 20-volt circular, and then my track saw, which is a 60-volt. In the back is the drywall trimmer. In the front is the drywall gun. Here again, I am double tooled in a cubby because of space. Behind this, you're going to find that there is a right angle 20-volt drill, and then I have the impact wrench, and I use that primarily for changing tires. Here you're going to see drill and a driver, and these both happen to be from my original set 12 years ago, and so these are the brushed. Everything else over here is brushless. Hammer drill and a driver, and then you have a drill and a driver back there. This cubby here has both of my atomic size, and these are the small versions, and I love these because they're just small and compact, and they're very, very useful. So these are probably my grab and go unless I need something a lot more bulky. And I set them in on an angle, so you see that one's not in there quite parallel, it's on an angle, and then I put this one in on that same angle, and they tend to lock each other together. The last cubby has two different flashlights. So that's the trailer. That's how it's set up. I do have my long track right up here using some ratchet clamps, and I think you've pretty much seen everything except not opening the drawers because this isn't a deep dive. I can't rave enough about the organization of a trailer like this, or any build out that you have. If you're able to be organized, it pays for itself. It really does. This thing has paid for itself time and time and time again on many, many different job sites. So I would never hesitate to take time out of my schedule if I had to build a new one. It is worth it to me to take time out of my schedule and not have work and build this out, because I know that it will be effective for years and years and years. So you're leveraging that 2 to 3 weeks of time that you have to take off. You're leveraging that against the next 5, 6, 7 years or more of increased efficiency on the job site. So yeah, hate to take 2 weeks of not getting paid because, in the construction business, you don't show up, you don't get paid because nothing gets done. So yeah, 2 weeks of not getting paid, but it is incredibly worth it to actually be able to then have something like this, whether it's a van build out or a truck build out or a trailer build out. It is just very worth it. I can't say that enough. I just can't say that enough. But until you've experienced it, it's going to be up to you whether you kind of invest in that mentally, physically, whatever, that you buy in or you don't. And you say, if you just throw it all in the bed of your truck and then take it to a job site, maybe that works for you. And I'm very happy for you. But I would almost always say for everybody else, organization is going to work out so much better. Onto the jibber jabber, and then to say goodbye. Hey there, Steve here. How you doing? Hey, welcome to a chilly day here. I had a little bit of time, so I decided to come on out and work in the trailer just a little bit. I've actually got that work done, and there would have been nothing exciting to show you. I was really just a little bit of reorganization. Check this out. Countertop over here. That is the only place in this trailer that I really use as kind of the junk drawer, if you will. It collects debris, and it's very easy to come in, and that's the only open flat space I have. So I love the trailer in the respect of everything has a home, everything has its place, and everything in the place. So when I bring stuff out, tools, whatever, it really has a location, and it's literally no expense of extra energy to come out and say, all right, I need to put this extra battery away, so it just goes right there where all my extra batteries go. And putting tools away and all that. So it's not really a problem to keep this thing organized. I've had a lot of comments over the years. Hey, how do you keep it so organized? It's actually very easy to keep it organized, and I'm not an organized person. I have in certain videos actually kind of pulled away the curtains and shown areas where it's not the trailer, and you can see that I am not an organized person with high levels of OCD. This trailer, however, in the organization of the Smart Trailer created by Ron Polk, is just something that lends itself to easy organization once you get it set up. When I roll onto a job site, to know that I have every tool that I need for that job. I mean, granted, a few specialty tools like major painting, that's going to be in a separate bin that I have to load in here. Tiling, because I don't do tiling on every job, so I have separate tiling stuff that won't fit in here. There's no place for it, so that'll get loaded in the aisle. And if I need a workbench, that gets loaded in the aisle. But other than those, every other tool that I have that I would need on a job is in here. It's a wonderful thing, and I do appreciate this. I do not take this for granted. I get up in the morning. Let's say tomorrow morning I have to be up, out of the house here at 7 o'clock. I need to roll onto a job site 7:30, 8 o'clock and be ready to go. As long as I know that I'm not painting or tiling something super special, or if I need a workbench or something, then I just simply pull up, hook up, unplug from shore power, reel in the extension cord. it's ready to travel. I don't even have to think about that. I do glance in to make sure that, I hadn't done anything and have stuff kind of hanging out somewhere that could fall over. But other than a quick glance, almost 99 out of every 100 trips, I can come in here and it's ready to travel. So I don't have to worry about that. And I know that I have all the tools that I need for that job and fasteners, especially if they're small jobs. If they're large jobs, I've had materials delivered and they're on site anyway, if it's something major. It's a really good feeling. I just don't have to sit around in the morning and make lists and think about, do I need my caulking today? Do I need the caulk gun? What kind of caulk do I need? And all of that. Do I need any blue tape? Do I need, whatever it is, right? And it's in here. It's ready to go. And for that, I appreciate this level of organization, and I'm going to appreciate that next trailer in 1 to 2 years of time to build. I'm going to order it, going to get it in. I'm going to go get that lightweight plywood, the ultralight plywood, 51 pounds a sheet, 3/4. And I'm going to build all the cabinets, everything out of that. Probably it'll be a 90+% smart trailer with a few modifications of my own, because I would like a fridge, a microwave, a coffee pot. And whether the trailer's heated or not, I do not know. But I want to have at least a heated area to where I know that my caulks and glues and chemicals and things like that need to stay above freezing will have a place to where, as long as I'm plugged into shore power, it can stay above freezing. And the other thing is, how am I going to power the thing? I want it self-sustaining. I want to be able to pull in and be an island of power in as much as I can, so I can just operate off of that. The next trailer would have like exterior lighting, so I'm going to have some floodlights out there. I'm going to have a few places around the exterior of the trailer to plug in, so I can use the trailer as kind of like a power hub, and then I can run whatever extension cords I need to off of it. Although by and large, I'm a cordless system here. I do have behind you is the corded miter box. Below that is the corded table saw. I don't know as I will go away from those anytime soon. However, beyond that, most everything else in here is cordless, minor exception. All right, well, hey, I just wanted to kind of come out and get it all kind of put back together, which was easy. It was really more just a lot of hardware and bits and pieces and all that. They all kind of got put back. And as I was doing that, I realized, that's why it accumulates. So I'll get a month or two of accumulation of just a pile of stuff on these wonderful, by the way, these wonderful magnet trays that you can pick up like a Harbor. You can pick up probably anywhere, but Harbor Freight is where I get them because they're inexpensive. And there's not much that can go wrong on them. So I throw stuff in there and around there, and then just once in a while I say, hey, I've got a few minutes, let's get it all out there. Thanks for sticking with me, everyone, through all that jibber jabber. I hope you take care and have a great day, because you deserve it. And if you would, ring that bell, get notified when I drop new videos. They're not on any kind of a schedule. And then you have a decision to make whether you want to watch it or not. And I hope to, I was going to say see you on the next video, but in essence, I really hope you see me on the next video. All right, y'all take care. And I did realize that by holding on to all those little bits of hardware, the 2 or 3 screws that look like this, the 5 screws that look like that I didn't need, either I came in here and I grabbed a handful of what I was going to do and use those for fasteners, or I bought a small box of something, or I bought 10 of something knowing that I needed at least 8. What if I strip one out? And then I have a few extra, and then I find a place for it in here, and it's why I have such an amazingly, for me, an amazingly complete hardware store in as much as what I do. And it's by saving those 5 or 6 pieces and knowing where I can find them. And beyond that, then it's it becomes the magic trailer, because when I come out here, not only do I have the tools that I need and I'm not scrambling for something, and I didn't forget something at home for the 17th time, so I have several caulk guns, because before this trailer, I was always forgetting the caulk gun. Go figure. And with that, it always delivers on that hardware when I'm looking for just that specialty screw that needs to be 1.25 inches, needs to be panhead, needs to be a number 8 or a number 10, and it needs to be black, or it needs to be white, or it needs to be, bronze colored. And I can come out here, and chances are I might have a handful of them. I may 2, 3, 5. I may have a small jar of them. And it really saves the day, because I am not taking an hour out of my day, and I don't care where you are, even if you're next to a Home Depot, literally next door. It seems to take an hour by the time you stop what you're doing, and if you got to wrap up and close up because of a security issue of tools walking away, so you got to lock things up. Head to the store, find what you need, go check out if you can find somebody to help you, or you're checking yourself out. And if you're checking yourself out, I'm of a strong opinion that you should hand me a smock and give me the employee discount, because I am doing somebody's job. So, sorry. I feel strongly about self-checkouts. I use them, but I feel strongly about them. So then, you know, you get back to the job and kind of get back into what you're doing. This trailer really saves on all of that. And it has been a while since I put a trailer video out, so I'll put this one out as a trailer video.